Welcome back, everybody. Now, when I said that I was going to make sure I didn't make a video 6 months from the last one, I didn't mean that I would make one 5 months. But, hey, look, at least I didn't do 6 months? Anyways, I haven't done as much progress as I'd hoped to have done, but that's because I was a bit busy with other stuff, especially like making money for, the future and also for Insectarium. It's not free, and with the stuff I make money with, if ever I make enough money outside, sometimes I wonder if I can make Insectarium Chapter 1 free, but at the same time, it's also only 3 chapters, and it's $3 per chapter, so I'm not exactly sure. Let me know in the comments. Try not to put a bias on yourself on how much you like free things, because at the end of the day, everybody likes free things. With that pretty messy intro out of the way, let me tell you about some progress. First of all, this video will be shorter than usual because I'm actually releasing a video in, hopefully, December about the external media of Insectarium, that being the little comics I've been making to be featured in the game. There will be a book that you can get, and you can read through it. I think I'll want to make an achievement for having actually read it all, but I can't. I don't know if it's even possible. It's not like I can see if you actually read it. But if not, I think I'll just release them online. So first things first, I actually updated the trash can model. I didn't exactly take a bunch of pictures of it. You guys haven't really noticed what it was, but it used to be very empty. And there was just going to be something at the bottom that you can get. And now it's actually fully made. It's something I'm actually pretty proud of, despite being a trash can. And the thing that you're going to be getting is significantly easier to get, which is this can opener. The can opener is going to be used to open cans for the spider part of the game. Basically, all items are able to be picked up. Well, ones that are supposed to be picked up anyways. So cans, jerky, all a bunch of food items. I still have a couple more to model, but in general, everything is actually functioning. You can actually pick them up and drop them, and you can also open them in your inventory. I was originally going to make a method where you had to set it down and then open it with the can opener if you had it on hand, but I realized that would be a pain in the ass, so instead I made it so then if you were holding the can opener, then you would be able to open it in your inventory. The method by which you drop an item in your inventory is also a lot better than the method we had before. So before it was that I put it in a space behind you so that when you were dropping it, it would teleport to your hold position, then you would just drop it like a regular item. However, I found that was really too complicated. It barely worked. Actually, I don't even know if it did work. And I decided instead to just have it so then you just have the game object. I know this is not a very impressive thing, but my original inventory was really made in mind with a 2D. So when you were to drop something, it would just go there. But in a 3D space, you have to think of things differently. And that's something I've noticed with Insectarium a lot, is that it's not to say I'm used to 2D games, but I'm used to things not needing, you don't need to think of every single angle. But with Insectarium, because it's a 3D game, you do. And honestly, there's a couple of times I've actually wanted to switch Insectarium to a 2D game, but especially the type of horror that Mascot horror is, which is more survival, all that puzzle horror in general, but especially that just doesn't work in 2D. Some absolutely great news is that basically all audio things except Ian and Bernard's voices are completed. Linda's voice lines have been all completed, all the music has, and in general, things are looking amazing. I've worked with very talented people, and I will cherish their contributions, even when I was kind of being a pain in the ass, because, well, as you guys can very much tell, I have a hard time working on things, and therefore, I have a hard time communicating with people. But it worked out in the end. Sadly, I'm still kind of missing with my two other voice actors, and I'm having a really big dilemma because I want to have voice actors because you can't just add them into the second chapter or to an update. It's not like other features where you can just do that, especially because it's a story game. But at the same time, it's just expensive, and I don't even know if Insectarium will do any good. And that's kind of where a lot of issues lie with Insectarium, I'll admit. But The biggest thing is I don't want to exploit people. I don't want to have people work for me for free. Because I am certain that there's someone in the audience who wants to raise their hand and say, yes, I will do these voices for free. And that is very great. I understand that. I've done a lot of free things in my life as an artist. But then there's a lot of ethical issues involved, especially because Insectarium is supposed to be a paid game. Guys, tell me what you think of this, because especially because I've already paid people to do other stuff, I don't know how to feel about it, but at the same time, I genuinely do want the characters to be voiced. And especially because there's a couple scenes, especially there's one scene in chapter 2, like the other scenes I don't want them to not be voiced, but I can kind of get away with it. But like chapter 2 has a scene that needs to be voice acted. It just needs to. And actually there's a couple other scenes that should be as well. So let me know what you think. I've also been working on integrating Bernard's gameplay mechanic. So he's actually inspired by Weeping Angels, but not like a copy of them. And that's because it's really overused, and also, well, it would make sense for his character, and plus, it's such a small room, it would just be unfair. With Linda, it works because you still have a bit more room to work around, and her entire mechanic is making her distracted. So it makes sense for her to be a game over. So for him, with Bernard, once he sneaks up on you in his little thing, then he just takes an item from your inventory. His motivation for this is because he doesn't want you to leave, so therefore he wants to make it more difficult for you, Ian, to leave. And I figured that this was probably the best way to do this, like, to keep him engaged in the game. Because originally, he was just, like, gonna be kind of just there. You could talk to him or whatever, but he was just gonna be there until you actually tried leaving. And sure, he would try to convince you not to, like, throughout that part of the game. But he was not doing anything, and I realized that this was kind of a waste. So that's why I integrated that mechanic. Something you will notice about him if you look at this animation I did is only poses, and that's because you're supposed to catch him in like the different stages. I feel like it's a pain in the ass to animate in Unity period, but this movement especially, because he's such a big guy. So I'd have to put a lot of detail, and it's just not worth it for movement that you're probably not even going to see. That being said, I still like these poses, and it took me much more time than I want to admit. I've also started working on something I cannot show you. This is the visuals for the ending. Now, the ending of Insectarium is a bit of a complicated subject because it actually has two endings, and you can get like a bad ending, you can get a good ending, but the good ending, you don't get anything, so you get something with a bad ending. Now, this isn't really a spoiler because I mean, I'm sure that this would probably come out like pretty soon after people start playing, and even then, like, no one watches these videos and doesn't expect any spoilers. I can't. I have to talk about character motivations after all. So those aren't going to be in the style of like the intro. For specific reasons I'm getting to right now, because I mean, you know, at the end of the day, it's supposed to be a bit of a spoiler. As per the last video, I'm just going to be showing some models and some other stuff that I finished, because I didn't just do the things I did. Video. Honestly, I yapped quite a lot in this video, and that's because I actually wasn't scripted in this video. I just felt like I was setting off recording this video because I didn't want to make a script. That being said, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this isn't disappointing, but like I said, I'm planning to release a video in December, like I said before, about the specific little comics I'm making. Now, thank you very much for watching. Once more. Now, see you later in hopefully less than a month.